I'm Grant, 33, janitor, night shift, father of 2. And this Thanksgiving, my family told me there was no space for my kids. So I paused their rent payments and made pancakes instead. Then my dad left me a voicemail at 1:33 a.m. that ended with the words, "You're not family if you don't fall in line." And that's when I finally stopped pretending. Thanksgiving used to be a day I circled on the calendar with a weird mix of obligation and hope. Hope that maybe this year, my parents would treat Mia and Theo like actual family. That maybe I'd get a real thank you instead of a guilt trip disguised as tradition. But this year? This year they gave me something better. A clear reason to walk away. It started at 7:14 a.m. I was flipping lopsided turkey-shaped pancakes while Theo flapped his arms and gobbled like a tiny dinosaur chicken hybrid. My phone buzzed. "Mom." I wiped my hands on a dish towel, answered. She was in that fake happy voice she uses when she's about to drop bad news like it's a favor. "Quick thing, honey. We reserved the kids' table for your brother's little ones, there's 8, you know, and there's just no space for Mia and Theo." I blinked at the batter dripping off the spatula. "So where would they sit?" A pause. Then Dad's voice joined in like a background app running too long. "We all agreed. It's best if you don't come. Keeps the peace. Keeps the peace." Like my kids were a riot. I turned off the burner. "Understood." "Good," Dad said like that settled it. "We'll make you a plate." "Don't," I said and hung up. Theo asked if Nana would like his turkey noise. Mia held up her fox drawing and beamed. "Can we tape this to Nana's fridge?" I smiled. "We're making our own Thanksgiving." And that's what we did. I set the table with a paper towel runner because Mia said it looked fancy. We wore our best, which meant Mia's fox shirt and Theo's dinosaur tie, and I ironed my one good shirt until the collar gave up the fight and flopped sideways anyway. The parade played. I made cocoa. We built a blanket fort. I didn't look at my phone until 10:07 p.m. when I opened the cutlery drawer to grab a spoon and saw 14 missed calls, 11 texts, and a photo of Brett's kids at the lit kids table. "Bro, where you at? Don't make it weird." I replied in the group chat with one line. "We're not coming. You told me there's no space for my kids. There's space here." Attached a photo. Our little table, 3 plates, Mia's paper fox standing proud. That's when things went from passive-aggressive to just plain aggressive. Calls. Texts. Guilt missiles. "Mom, you're punishing us." "Dad, your attitude is exhausting." "Brett, you're blowing up the vibe, bro." But I didn't reply. I opened my banking app. I looked at the little green toggle labeled Parents Rent Autopay. $2,300 a month, sent like clockwork. Started 2 years ago, when Dad got laid off. Became permanent when Brett kept flaking. Every month they told me I was the steady one. Translation: the wallet. The janitor fund. My thumb hovered over the toggle. Not out of anger. Not yet. Just clarity. At 1:33 a.m., the voicemail came. "You think you're some hero because you mop floors and throw money around? You're not family if you don't fall in line." I listened to it twice. Then I paused the payment. Simple. Like the first pass of a mop across a dirty floor. The morning after the voicemail felt eerily quiet, like the whole world was holding its breath. The laundry machines downstairs thumped out their rhythm, the sun bled through the blinds in slanted lines, and Mia asked if we could go to the park like nothing had happened. "Of course," I said. I even packed hot chocolate in an old thermos I found buried in the cabinet behind the emergency duct tape. We passed Ms. Rivera on the way out. She owns the corner store, knows everyone's birthdays, and once gave Mia a free popsicle when she scraped her knee. "You 3 doing your own Thanksgiving?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "Good," she nodded. "The best kind." At the park, Mia drew a fox in the dirt with a stick. Theo named every leaf he picked up Kevin. Every single one. When I asked why, he shrugged. "They look like Kevin's." Fair enough. I didn't check my phone until we got back. 93 unread messages. One from Aunt Lisa. "Your dad said not family, didn't he?" She saw it. Heard it. I hadn't told her. But she knew. She called. "I've been in the middle since Brett learned to talk," she said, voice half amused, half exhausted. "But I see you now. And more importantly, I see your kids." That one hit harder than it should have. Later that day, Mom called again. I picked up. Finally, she exhaled, like I was the one ghosting her. We had a scare this morning, she began. Your father thought you'd, well, never mind. Listen, about yesterday, everyone was overwhelmed. You know how Brett's kids get. It was better this way. Better for who? I asked. For everyone, she said. You overreacted. And now the rent? This is petty, Grant. It's not petty, I said. It's money I mopped gym floors for at 2 a.m. We counted on you, she snapped. You built your budget around me, I replied. That's the problem. She huffed like a storm cloud trying to gather. You're going to regret this. Blood is blood. I looked at Mia gluing Fox stickers to the table. You know what? I said. I think blood is just the first rule. Not the only one. She hung up. Brett texted 5 minutes later. Bro, what did you do? You can't just stop. That's wild, I replied. We can talk when you delete my kids' names from the list you never wrote. His response? 10 crying laughing emojis. Then, you're making this about the kids like a manipulator. Classic. I turned off my phone and set it in the drawer with the napkins and the backup batteries. I wasn't interested in arguing with people who couldn't spell empathy without autocorrect. That night, Mia and Theo sat at the table drawing new place cards. Mia added glitter. Theo drew a chair with stick legs and said, This one's for Nana. If she says sorry. It stunned me how simple kids made it. Want someone in your life? Make a seat. But make it clear, you don't sit there for free. At 8:40 p.m. Saturday night, my phone rang again. Not a number I recognized. Hi, this is Jose from Maple Gardens Apartments. We're following up on the rent for Unit 2B. I almost laughed. Not at him, at the perfect timing of the universe. My parents were scrambling, and they were using this poor guy as the messenger. I won't be paying it anymore, I said calmly. But I'm sorry you're caught in the middle. He paused. They said you'd cover it. Again. I used to, I said. Not anymore. He sighed. People think landlords are villains. I just need the books to balance. I get it, I said. I mop glitter out of gym mats for a living. He chuckled, surprised. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. After we hung up, I stood by the window and watched the laundromat sign blink. Open. Then dark. Then open again. It looked like it couldn't make up its mind either. Mia was taping Fox stickers to the cabinets. Theo was sitting under the table, feeding a stuffed dinosaur dried cereal and whispering, You are brave. You are so brave. And I thought, this is the table. This right here. Sunday morning, I woke up to a wall of noise. Extended family. Cousin Jake. They're saying you abandoned them. Uncle Mike. You always had a temper. Then one from an unknown number, saved under Brett's other number. This is Shay. He can't afford diapers now because of you. Hope you're happy. I didn't reply. I opened my notes app and started typing. Every dollar. Every transfer. Dates. Amounts. Screenshots. Rent. Utilities. Groceries. Childcare. Late car payments. New tires. Back to school clothes, for kids that weren't mine. I wasn't building a case to send. I was building one to remind myself. For the nights when guilt would knock and try to come in, wearing my dad's voice. Around noon, we walked to the park again. Sky was brittle blue. Crisp. Like one wrong word would crack it. Theo named a new batch of leaves Kevin. Mia traced a fox in the sandbox with her finger. On the way home, we stopped at the store. Ms. Rivera gave Mia a wink and slipped 2 churros into the bag. For the artists, she said. Back home, I checked my work email. Mr. Patel, the school facilities director, had offered me a Sunday floor wax shift. I said yes. I like waxing floors. They shine. Proof you did something. Effort in, result out. The opposite of family, where love sometimes just feels like invoices paid in silence. By evening, the second wave hit. Angry. Desperate. Weird. Dad texted. You humiliated us. You left us in the lurch. Everyone knows. Mom. It was a misunderstanding. You're blowing it out of proportion. And then, another voicemail. I stared at my phone as it downloaded. I knew it was him. I knew the cadence of disappointment before it even started playing. You're not family if you don't fall in line, he said again. Same words. Sober this time. On purpose. That was the turning point. He wasn't sorry. He was recording the policy. I sat down on the couch, next to my kids and their fox-covered place cards, and I realized I wasn't even angry. I was done. Monday morning, the school was empty. No students. No hallway chatter. Just me and the buffer machine humming like an old song I didn't need lyrics to. I buffed the gym floor until I could see the reflection of the ceiling lights. Neat rows, nobody jostling for space. Every beam had its place. I thought about space a lot that day. The kind you give. The kind you take. The kind they said my kids didn't have at the table. At 3:18 p.m., Aunt Lisa sent a photo. No caption, just an image from my parents' dining room. Long table. Casseroles half eaten. Empty chairs. One close-up, a place card that read, Brett's kids, next to a construction paper turkey. No. Mia. No. Theo. Not even a blank one. I saved the photo, not to post, not to shame, but to remember. Proof of absence. That night, I made a grilled cheese dinner that turned into a 3-course event because Mia kept suggesting side dishes like she was running a restaurant. Theo requested we have a toast. He raised his apple juice and said, To foxes and dads. Foxes and dads, I repeated. The next morning, I called off my vacation day and instead used it to go north and buy a second-hand dining table from a guy named Kenny who smoked while we haggled. It had 2 chips and a wobble. I fixed the wobble that night with folded cardboard and a furniture pad from under the sink. Mia watched me and said, You're like magic but with tape. We said it together. 3 chairs. 3 name cards and my crooked block letters. Mia, Theo, Dad. Mia added a fox sticker to mine. Now it's perfect, she said. On Wednesday, I received a message from Brett. It was short, sharp, trying to bite. Whatever, man. You'll come crawling back. You always do. I didn't respond. But I wrote something to myself that night, an email I sent to my own inbox. Subject rules. The body read, If you don't respect my kids, you don't get access to me. I don't fund disrespect. I won't argue with people who rewrite the past while I'm still standing in it. I pinned it. Thursday morning, the 1st of the month, the green checkmark didn't appear. The rent wasn't paid. The autopay stayed paused. The world didn't end. Nothing exploded. The sky didn't collapse. The only thing that ended was the story I kept telling myself, that keeping the peace meant letting them walk all over me as long as they smiled after. That afternoon, Ms. Rivera gave me a paper bag with a cinnamon roll inside. Tell your dad he looks tired. He needs this more than I do. I thanked her and meant it. Small kindness hits harder when you've been budgeting for affection. By nightfall, Mia was asleep on the couch under a blanket of fox drawings. Theo had named the oven mitt Kevin, and was whispering secrets to it. And me? I stood in the kitchen with the light off, staring at the blank tile floor, and realized. No yelling. No chaos. Just space. Our own. Friday came in slow. Like it knew what it was carrying. Brett tried again, this time from Shay's number. Just apologize, man. Then Dad will unice. We're family. That word again. Family. They threw it like a frisbee, hoping it would come back clean every time. I was mid-wax in the science wing when Jose from Maple Gardens called again. They told me you changed your mind, he said, cautious. I didn't, I said. He sighed, tired. Your dad gave me your number again. Said it was a misunderstanding. Said you're emotional. I laughed once, quiet and low. Tell him the janitor's gone cold. And not coming back. He didn't ask follow-ups. Just said, got it, and hung up. That night, we had pancakes again. Fox-shaped, burned in weird places, covered in syrup and joy. Mia insisted on naming each one after her classmates. Theo stuck a googly eye on his and whispered, Now it sees everything. We laughed so hard my ribs hurt. Saturday morning, I cashed in a vacation day I'd never touched and took the kids to the art museum. It was free for locals that week, and Mia walked through like she owned the joint. Theo kept calling every sculpture a big chair. He tried to sit on 2. We left a note at the front desk that read, Sorry for the chair confusion. He meant it with love. That night, Aunt Lisa called again. Your mom is telling people you're going through a phase. I snorted. I'm in a life. She laughed so loud I had to pull the phone away. Good. They're spinning. Your dad's yelling at everyone who brings you up. Your mom keeps saying she didn't mean it that way. But she did. I said. Yeah. Lisa sighed. She did. I looked at the name cards still on our table. Mia had added one for Theo's dinosaur. That seats for bravery, she said, serious. Lisa was still on the phone. You okay? I'm not sad, I said slowly. I'm just not confused anymore. Silence. Then, you're the only one who ever paid attention to what things actually cost. Time. Energy. Gas. Groceries. You don't need to prove anything else. I didn't reply. I was too busy breathing. The kind of deep breath that goes past your lungs and into your spine. Before bed, I stood in the kitchen again, watching the city shimmer in laundromat light. My phone buzzed on the table. A message from my dad. You've humiliated us. We did everything for you. And you repay us with silence? You're not family if you don't fall in line. That was the third time. I stared at the screen. Not angry. Not heartbroken. Just still. Then I wrote something I never thought I would. If family means obey or be cut off, then maybe you're right. Maybe I'm not. And I put my phone face down. The cutlery drawer stayed closed. Sunday morning, I made scrambled eggs while Mia sang a song about a fox named Gerald who worked at a bakery. Theo spilled orange juice and said, "Oops. The floor needed a drink." They were fine. Better than fine. They were thriving. I sat at our new table, the one I'd bought secondhand, fixed, and set with name cards like declarations, and reread my own pinned email. I don't fund disrespect. If you don't respect my kids, you don't get access to me. I won't argue with people who rewrite the past while I'm still standing in it. At 9:22 a.m., I got a final call from Jose at Maple Gardens. His tone was clipped, professional. Your dad's still refusing to speak with us directly. He keeps saying you'll handle it. We need a resolution by Tuesday. I gave him the number of a legal aid firm that helps tenants and landlords navigate disputes. Told him that's all I could do. Appreciate the honesty, he said. I'll stop calling you. That was the cleanest end of the whole mess. The noise from the rest of the family kept trickling in like a leaky faucet. Cousins who'd never texted me before suddenly had opinions. A second aunt called to say, "Your mom's heart is broken." I didn't answer. I already knew whose heart had cracked first. It wasn't my mom's. It was Mia's, when she made a place card in glitter glue and asked where she'd be sitting, and I had to lie. It was Theo's, when he practiced saying, "Happy Turkey Day," and no one showed up to hear him. So no, I wasn't coming back. Not crawling. Not climbing. Not calling. At 2 p.m., I did something small but massive. I pulled out a manila envelope and started printing. Screenshot of the banking app toggle, autopay paused. 35 rent payments. 7 labeled. Groceries. 3-4. Brett's childcare. 1 labeled. Thanksgiving 22 full cost. 1 more. Thanksgiving 23 no space. I didn't send the envelope to anyone. I just filed it in the back of my cabinet. Because some people keep baby shoes. I keep proof of why I finally said no. That night, I took Mia and Theo to Aunt Lisa's for dinner. 3 plates on the table. She made meatballs and store-bought pie and no one fought. After dinner she said, "You know, I kept a place card too." She pulled it from a drawer. It said, "Grant," in crooked script, with a little heart over the A. Mia grinned. "Can I make you a new one?" she asked. Lisa smiled. "Only if it has a fox." On the walk home, Mia held my hand and said, "Nana still loves me, right?" I stopped on the sidewalk, bent down, and said, "She says she does. But people show love by making room. So until she makes room, we're loving each other right here." She nodded like I just told her something sacred. Theo whispered, "I'll keep a chair ready. But only one. Only if she says sorry." At home, I taped the new place cards to the fridge. Mia. Theo. Dad. A fox. A dinosaur. And 1 blank one. Labeled, "Reserved, for someone who apologizes with their whole chest." Monday morning at work, I was refilling the mop bucket when Mr. Patel walked by. "You know what I like about you, Grant?" he said. I looked up, surprised. My floor's shining personality? He laughed. You don't complain. You just fix what's broken. That landed harder than he knew. I looked around the school hallway, empty, quiet, clean. Not perfect, but cared for. Just like us. That afternoon, I picked up the kids from school. Mia handed me a folded paper. It was a drawing of our dining table. 3 chairs. Fox pancakes on the plates. At the bottom it said, "Family, where everyone has a seat." That night, after the kids went to bed, I sat on the couch alone with a cup of tea and opened my voicemail one last time. I replayed the 1:33 a.m. message from Dad. His words were still harsh. Still slurred with entitlement. But they didn't sting anymore. They just confirmed the boundary I'd finally set. I deleted the message. Not because I forgave him. But because I didn't need the evidence anymore. I had everything I needed sitting across the hall, under Fox-themed bedsheets, snoring and safe. That's the ending they'll never understand. No revenge. No tantrum. No Instagram meltdown. Just a clean hallway, a paid-off conscience, and a kitchen table where my kids always know they belong. Because I'm not just a resource. I'm not a punishment. I'm not a fallback plan in boots and a uniform. I'm a father. And this Thanksgiving, I didn't lose my family. I found it. In a paper towel table runner. In a Fox sticker on my name card. In a little boy who named every leaf Kevin. And in myself. Finally. The steady one. But only for the people who see us.